is happening. The revolution has begun. The war for Bitcoin has started. The bull run is here. The rocket is taking off. Bitcoin is blowing through past all-time highs. All of the things I've been saying for the last 8 months. Mr. Boy Who Cries Wolf. Everything I've been saying is now coming true. I am the Bitcoin maximalist. The one of the few, the 0.01% of you Bitcoin maxis out there ranting on the internet like degenerates because you see exactly what is going to be happening to the world and everyone is blatantly unaware, and we own the best asset class of all assets, the only best asset that ever will exist in all the future, the perfect form of money, the best thing of all the best things. You should have bought fucking Bitcoin. This isn't just any bull run cycle. I'm sure you've heard about Bitcoin in the past. This is not just any cycle. This is the super cycle. We are in the super cycle. This is history. History's been being made last 14 years, but this is like the epiphanical moment. This is like when we landed on the moon and we took the first step on the moon. Debatable, but you get my fucking point. All of the work of building the rocket ship, hiring tech engineers, doing space launch tests, exiting orbit, landing on the moon, it all comes up to the moment where the first man takes the first step on the moon, and that's where awesomeness happens. And that's when we celebrate. And we're finally there. So we've did it. We've done it. I've been ranting on the internet like a fucking nut job. And now you're starting to understand why. And now the FOMO's kicking in. The fear of missing out. Am I too late? Oh, I don't want to miss out on the largest wealth transfer that's ever going to exist. Yada, 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 yada. And as Michael Saylor says, you're all going to own Bitcoin at the price you deserve to pay for it. That's going to be relevant to you as an individual. That's going to be relevant to governments, to institutions, to banks, to businesses, to everybody in this world is going to own Bitcoin, and they're going to pay what they deserve to get it. Get it? So this is where we are right now. We're at a 90K Bitcoin. We might see some consolidation, but we're going to see it blow through 100K. We're probably going to see it 150K. And you know what? This is crazy because we have a 300,000 to 500,000 Bitcoin on the board. It's on the table. It is on the table, this bull run. We're going to be in a massive, massive bubble cycle. This is a good analogy. The entire fiat currency system of US dollar, Chinese yen, all this shit, it's a giant bubble. And Bitcoin's like a needle, and it's just going to explode the whole fucking thing. And we're going into uncharted territory. We are in complete uncharted territory where the United States has a friendly pro-crypto government. It's the first time we've ever seen this. And we're going to have a domino effect where all the other nation states are going to be bidding for Bitcoin. So many people were concerned, and this was like the most common rebuttal Bitcoin got is, well, what if the government bans it? What if the government doesn't allow it? Well, here's the thing. In game theory, and this happened last bull run when China banned Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, all of the miners came to the United States. And what you need to understand is that if there is an asset class that the people want and the people see value in, and if a government doesn't accept it, those people are going to move those businesses to a government that is friendly to that business or that practice. And in this circumstance, it's Bitcoin. Now the United States is the largest miner of Bitcoin, and now we have a crypto-friendly government. And because the United States already has the national reserve currency, which is the US dollar, which we were just going to war with BRICS and their currency competitor, and that essentially a competitor in terms of currency domination of the world, we have now decided with the you-know-who administration that we are going to be purchasing Bitcoin and using it as a reserve asset of the US dollar. And that is huge because now all of the following nation states of the rest of the world, because the United States dollar is the reserve asset of the world currently, are going to have to purchase Bitcoin, because if they don't, they're going to get left behind. And no nation state wants to be the sucker who didn't own Bitcoin and becomes a third world country. Okay? So that's game theory. The problem isn't that governments are going to ban it. The problem for governments is going to be, how do I outcompete the rest of the government on owning the most amount of Bitcoin possible? And what you're going to notice is that the price is going to get bid up dramatically as these governments begin fighting for Bitcoin equity. If you have survived China mining ban, FTX crash, BlockFi, Celsius, futures, ETFs, and matches, massive FUD, you are now confirmed Bitcoin hodler. It's time to sit back and enjoy the banana zone. This is the banana zone. We saw it in 2012, 2013, 16 to 17, 2020 to 21. And now we're in the 24 to 25 bull run. The banana zone has been executed. We also see the news turning on the media switch.
It's going to be very difficult to fix the deficit with just...
Oh, and this is what okay. All right, this is what I wanted to get into. This is what I've been ranting about. And I totally predicted this. There's probably a clip of me way back. I'm not going to look for it, but there's probably a clip of me at some point in time because I've rambled this a million times. Is the United States government can get out of its $36 trillion or $35 trillion of debt if it uses Bitcoin. And here's exactly what that would look like. The United States, with the current strength of the United States dollar being the reserve currency of the world, they have the ability to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet and be the first nation state to begin holding it as a reserve asset. In response, due to game theory, there's going to be a domino effect where all of the other nation states are going to then have to begin purchasing Bitcoin and holding it as a reserve asset for themselves. And in return, the United States being the first, the initiator, the initiative taker, they're going to own their market share at the cheapest price of Bitcoin while the rest of the nation states follow. The outcome of that is going to be the United States government owning Bitcoin as a reserve asset. They buy it for $100,000 of Bitcoin, which is where they're going to have to be purchasing it. And then the rest of the nation states bid that price up to $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 to $1 million. Now the United States government just 10x the equity, that of which they've put in, and they can utilize the domino effect, all the other nation states onboarding onto Bitcoin, as an ability to pay off and socialize the debt payment amongst all of the purchasers of Bitcoin it onboarded through taking initiative. That's the whole concept. That's exactly what's happening. Let's look at it right here.
It's going to be very difficult to fix the deficit with just changes in taxes and spending. But it's probably why Bitcoin is kind of interesting here, because it's potentially a treasury reserve asset. And, if Bitcoin rises in price, it actually helps offset the liabilities, which is the deficit.
So you were at 150, I think, on Bitcoin, weren't you? But
yeah.
Not necessarily by the end of this year, or?
I think six figures is still possible before the end of the year, yeah.
And then more next year and the year after.
Yeah, I think because now, post-halving and now Bitcoin's becoming a lot more relevant, and I think maybe the regulatory overhang is diminishing, that there's a lot of upside from here, yeah.
There is so much upside right now. And if we look at that, this was posted about 5 days ago, and we're already at 90,000. Wait, what was the chart? The chart was at 76 at the posting of this video. We were at 92 just like an hour ago. Yeah, we hit 93K today. The bullish sentiment is ridiculous. We have the United States government using Bitcoin as a reserve asset to the US dollar. We have domino effect of the rest, every single nation state in the entire world FOMOing into Bitcoin. At the same time, we have direct regulations, regulatory standards, so then corporations and big businesses can begin purchasing Bitcoin on their balance sheets. Bitcoin is going to be the reserve asset, and it's just a black hole. It's going to suck up all of the useless, all the value that we deemed as a store. Everything that we've used as a tool for a store of value is now going to be stored into Bitcoin, and that's including real estate, that's including fiat currencies, that's including all these things, and it's all going to be backed by Bitcoin, and we're going to see price appreciation that we have never seen before. And we are in, like I said before, we are in completely uncharted territory. We are in price discovery mode, and we don't know where it's going to go. We are operating in a completely new experiment. The fiat currency system has been an experiment where we've endlessly printed money to pay off debts. And we've inflated the currency. 100% of fiat currencies fail. We've been through that Ponzi scheme, that fiat currency experiment well over 1,000 times, looking at previous governments, and they've all failed. And now we have Bitcoin, which is a perfect reserve asset, a perfect form of money, of currency, and it is actively sucking up all of the value. And everything relative to Bitcoin is going to zero. That may include real estate, that's going to include food, shopping, living expenses. Everything is going to zero against Bitcoin. And if you are here now and you are here early, this is your final warning to begin exposing some of your stored value into Bitcoin. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is what I see, and it's happening now, and I've been ranting about it like a fucking imbecile on the internet, and it is finally coming to fruition. All of my words that have been said are coming true, and I am just here to celebrate it on the internet all by myself in my fucking bedroom. This is what I do now. I've been sitting in here just doing analyses all day long, just making sure I'm getting as much value out of this board as possible. Cheers to being another imbecile ranting about Bitcoin on the internet. Have a great day, you all.